afternoon. Hope everyone's doing groovy. I would like to thank my friend Mark, who has inspired me to do this segment. Basically, it is expanding on a quote that I had posted on, and basically what the quote says is, nobody really tells you this, but sometimes the healing hurts more than the wound. And my friend Mark was like, well, what do you mean? And I was like, challenge accepted. I will definitely expand on why this quote resonated with me. Thank you, Mark. Okay, so to begin, you are whole. You are healed. You are perfect. You are everything and more, possibly more than what we think at this given time and space. We are so divine. We are everything and nothing, but that's just as awesome as being everything. Takes the weight off of our shoulders. We are a microcosmic to the macrocosmic, and as above, so below. It is so perfect. You're all of it. And what that means is that when we are in this material body as humans, we naturally adapt to the environment or our conditions. So example, for me as Tiffany, I have evolved and adapted to my environment. My family was what introduced me into this third dimension reality, and from there my parents have invested their energy, their concepts of reality, and I have just evolved and kind of adjusted and modified into my own being. But with that comes a lot of different situations and experiences and connections we make with not just our environment, with other people, but we are constantly picking up on everything subconsciously. If you can think of your subconscious and your conscious, if this is the surface of the ocean, I'm pretty sure you've seen it, 30% above is your conscious, and then 70% below is your subconscious. And our conscious mind can only focus on one thing. But that doesn't mean that we're not receiving everything from when we're in our mother's womb up into this point of our life. Which means that we have picked up a lot of shit. We've picked up everything. There is no good, there is no bad. It's just our perception of what is. But we're influenced by our family, and we're given these boundaries by society, what is good and what is bad, what is moral, what is immoral. And so when you think of it as a wound or something that has inflicted damage on your body or your subtle body, your energy, your heart, your mind, it is usually traumatic experiences like breaking your arm or tearing your ACL, or something that's really physical that jolts a lot of pain, that kind of stamps a blueprint on your mind, like, fuck, like, I don't want to touch the stove because I know last time I did it my entire hand caught on fire. Or like you're just more mindful of certain things because of experiences. Life wisdom experiences give you wisdom within life, which helps you navigate a little bit more seamlessly through our reality. So when we're thinking of what we carry with us in the concept of wounds, sometimes the things that really influence are things that you can't really see on the physical plane. So things that we hold within our mental state or our emotional state. And within our physical body, there are subtle energies. And within these subtle energies, it helps maintain equilibrium, this balance, this harmony within the mind and the heart and in the body. So you can think of it as your Holy Trinity, mind, heart, and body, which connects you to your divine, your higher self. When we hold on to something, we stifle that energy flow, that chi, the Tao, the Holy Spirit, basically just that unseen energy force that connects us to everything. We cut ourselves off from it. So an example, say I'll use me as an example. Well, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who have similar stories, but I would also like to thank everything that's helped me get here, because without everything that's happened to me, I wouldn't be who I am today. But when I was younger, I had parental issues. My mom was absent, my birth mom was absent, and that really jolted me. And my parents were also super young, and also children raising children. So what they were doing was programming what they knew, which is very little of the world at that time, into me, and they were unable to give me the tools I needed, or tools that would have been a little bit more helpful for me to process all of that emotion. So you think about it, like when something happens to you as a child and you're not given proper tools to help filter and even understand what's going on with you internally, you basically carry that same energy and those same coping mechanisms with you as you grow into an adult body. Basically, we're just little children in bigger bodies, and most of the time what we do is react with those same impulses as we did as children. So with my mom being absent, I learned how to be very detached. Basically, I have this chip on my shoulder, or this energy on my heart that kind of blocks me from trusting or wanting to stay in a place of discomfort long enough for me to actually go through an emotion, process the emotion, and let it filter through, and allow the energy to pass through me, and then give it back to the universe. So when you think of this wound or this energy, in this particular case with my mom, I stopped myself from receiving an abundance of love, a maternal love. My relationship with my stepmom was also really rocky, and I just have developed this resistance towards motherly figures, but also this like emptiness in my heart, like this want of fulfillment. And I have seen that carried with me in my adult years, my resistance to mom figures, and this kind of like fear of parents, and just my relationship and my perspective on adults, and always kind of seeing myself as a child. And it's just interesting to see how all of that has manifested for me in my adult years. So when this quote states, or when this quote said that healing hurts, but sometimes the healing hurts more than the wound, you basically have this whole shift. There's a cat outside my window. I want to see it. Look at him. He's like watching. He's a black cat. He sees? Oh my god! His name is Onyx. We feed him. Oh my god, look at him. He's so cute. I love you. You're so cute. Oh my god. Okay, I cannot. That's awesome. Oh my god, he wants to come inside. I want to get him some like flea medicine, and then he can be my little house cat, but I already have one. His name is Diamond. Anyway, so when you're wanting to heal something, it's typically you come to a head in your life when something isn't working. You're like, I'm just kind of fed up with this this constant pattern of, he's being crazy, this constant pattern of pain, or this constant pattern of guilt, shame, sadness, like why am I dating the same people, or why am I always around people who kind of drag me down, or why have I not found a better job, Why am I not able to make more money? I know I'm valuable, but what is stopping me? So what is that? And when you start to question your own reality, that's when things get a little bit more interesting. So first is the question of what is. Basically what you see in your life. Like, example, why am I always dating the same kind of person? And typically the people that you date are similar to your parental figures. They have a little bit of that same energy. And when you're in a toxic relationship, toxic is something that that kind of derails you from your higher self. And what you are, like I said, is whole. So anything that makes you question yourself, anything that separates you from you, anything that fills you up with doubt, I'm going to just say that's pretty toxic. Granted, I'm not a licensed doctor, but you should know that you're whole and you're divine, and anything that doesn't uplift you or remind you or inspire you doesn't serve you. You're here to be magnificent. You're here to create. You're here to be just the ultimate version of you. So if at any point something is stifling you, or you feel like you're in a box and you're feeling resentment, that's an opportunity for you to kind of check out and question whether that job, person, environment is really aligned to you. So when you're beginning to build this mindfulness and this awareness of yourself and the relationships that you hold, the relationship to yourself and the relationships that are manifested outside of you, you'll begin to kind of like, how do you say? I just like froze. Everything just became really still. You'll begin to reflect. It's an opportunity to reflect and really grow in awareness and acceptance of that said thought pattern. So what our beliefs are just patterns of thought that we've repeated multiple times that they now become, they're just beliefs or thoughts repeated enough times that they now become our personal reality. And we have about 80 to 90% of the same thoughts a day. Our personal reality is created by our personality, and vice versa. Our personality creates our personal reality. Thank you, Dr. Joe Dispenza from Gaia. You guys should download that app. It's mind-blowing. Basically everything that you intuitively know, just gifted to you by like neurologists, scientists. Like, it is the best thing ever. I love Gaia. Thank you so much for all the amazing people who are on there and that just invest in this. This is the craziest, coolest stuff ever. So basically, your personality creates your own personal reality, and your personal reality is built off your structure of thoughts and beliefs. So if you're carrying this concept that everyone in my life is just gonna leave, like my mom just left me, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, why are people gonna want to stay, like I'm not worthy enough, and you kind of start to structure this, and like no one tells you that those thoughts are wrong until you're ready. You'll find it. And it seems like there's not that support system at a young age. I found this in my early 20s. I started to heal these wounds, and I feel like it's going to be a lifelong process for me. Some days are better than others, but I really can see how my relationship with my birth mom and my relationship with my stepmom really do have this major impact on how I view myself, or how I had viewed myself. And so when I see that, I basically now have the opportunity to take accountability for everything that's happened in my life and decide that this is a choice that I made in order to learn a soul lesson. I think that there is a difference between life lessons and soul lessons. Your soul is beyond this body and this manifested reincarnated form. It is beyond the concept of time, and we do it for the collective. My soul lesson is not just for this version of body, but more so the collective energy, which is all of it. So I experience a portion of the universe in order to download it into all. So what I'm receiving and what I'm feeling and what I'm processing and what I'm doing for myself and what you're doing and what you're processing and what you're experiencing for yourself is for all. What we do is show on such a minuscule scale, but on such a magnitude of epic proportions. So when you start to take accountability for everything and every situation that you've put yourself through, you'll begin to see patterns of resistance towards people, places of, you can say, hatred. I've hated some people before. I used to hate the entire world, actually. I really didn't understand why there were so many people, and I just felt overwhelmed, and I felt like there was scarcity, and there is this just fear-based, and I didn't want to be a part of anything, or like, I didn't want to live. I was over it. And it just is like a product of shaky thoughts of just there's no structure, and there was no guidance, and I had to create this guidance, I had to create this structure, I found it. And our spiritual practices, no matter what it is, as long as it's virtuous and it gives you integrity and it uplifts you and you feel connected to your Holy Trinity and you are connected to your higher power, then by all means, power to you. But your spiritual practice, when you ground into it, will start to show you all the places that you hold within yourself that resist your natural state of being, which is unconditional love. It's just the state, it's a natural state of being. Everything else is the conscious of. There's your perspective of, but then it's completely different from what the actual reality is. So the isness of everything and then your perspective of it. So we are at baseline, everything whole. We are whole, we are healed, we are perfect, we are divine. Now there are pockets of consciousness that tell us otherwise. There's pockets of consciousness of fear, pockets of consciousness of broken, pockets of consciousness of unworthy. Those are just pockets of consciousness, and when you focus on them, they become bigger. And then that is your reality. Those are the beliefs you tell yourself, that I'm unworthy, I don't deserve love, I don't deserve people who support me, blah, blah, blah. Those thoughts in your mind will now be validated by experiences you have outside of you. So now those thoughts are just going to be confirmed through the people that you interact with, situations that you put yourself into, and as you have those thoughts and you have those experiences will create a rush of emotion, and when you get that rush of emotion, you're now connecting neuron to neuron in your brain that just solidifies that pattern of thought, which now becomes a belief, which now becomes your words, which then creates more action, which then in return becomes this wheel of karma, action and reaction. And within this process of pause, space, awareness, acceptance, accountability, this power that you start to receive seems to be it's intense, because now you have this decision, this choice to take your power back and choose something different. And knowing that everything that has happened to you has happened for you. And it doesn't make the pain go away. You know, like our spiritual awakening or our spiritual awareness and the acceptance of things that have happened doesn't diminish the emotion behind it. It doesn't make anything less traumatic. It honestly makes you feel it more, and it hurts. and there's this pain, and you have to like learn how to process the pain. But the thing about pain is when you're able to process and really move through it, you can let it go. And it just is a lot. It's just a lot. So that was what I was thinking about when I looked at the quote. Nobody really tells you this, but sometimes the healing hurts more than the wound. You actually have to sit with the shit you've gone through and go through it and figure out a healthy way to handle it and not run from it, not drink yourself numb or work every single day for 12 hours and make an excuse of why you're ignoring how you really feel about your parents or what you really feel about your job or what you really want to do with your life. You go through all of this, and then what? That is the question. Now what? Anyways, thank you so much. Namaste until we meet again. Satnam.